Chapter 71, Enemy at the Gate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feng sect, Qin Ye sneezed and touched his nose, wondering who was thinking of me. Could it be junior sister Xian? Or maybe it's sister Shuiji? It can't be that dead girl Piao. Qin Ye was planning to go to Old Man Wu to play 2 games, but Yuan Ming had already come over. Yuan Ming first saluted Qin Ye and then said, Sect Master Sheng has sent news that the Qingyun sect has set off. The sect master of the Qingyun sect is personally leading the team, and is accompanied by 2 supreme elders. 3 grandmasters. Do you think it's possible? Qin Ye asked with a slight smile. What do you mean by the sect master? Of course Yuan Ming knew that there might be a master hiding secretly, but as a smart subordinate, sometimes he couldn't act too smart and steal the limelight from the sect leader. Qin Ye glanced at him and asked, how many days will it take to get to Qingfeng City? As fast as 2 days, as slowly as 3 or 4 days. Yuan Ming replied. Qin Ye nodded and said to him, I heard that the outer gate is not very stable recently and people's hearts are floating. If anyone wants to leave, let them go. However, you must make it clear to them first. If they leave, they will never leave. Will be blocked. Sect Master, is this blacklisting? We will no longer recruit people permanently. Qin Ye said, our Feng sect is not a cat or a dog now. Anyone can come in. I can understand that they want to leave, but it is impossible to come in again. Yes, Sect Master. Yuan Ming said. The Sect Master is so kind. If this happened to other sects, they would definitely kill him as a warning to others. Yuan Ming thought to himself, if he encountered such a thing in blood killing, he would also pursue him to the end. Isn't it right? We'll let people go. How did Yuan Ming know that Qin Ye was not from this world at all, and could not regard human life as trivial, and in his opinion, most of the people whose hearts were moved were the disciples of those sects who later annexed them. Now the mission is completed. Okay, these people can leave if they want. Ding, congratulations to the host for triggering the subsidiary mission. The Qingyun sect united with many forces in Qingzhou to target the Feng sect. Will the host take the initiative to defeat the invading enemy? Choice 1, take the initiative, reward the host blind box 10 star. Choice 2, shrink the sect, breaking the sect pill 10 star. Note, the breaking sect pill can help innate peak warriors break through the Grandmaster, and the breakthrough probability can be increased by 60%. After sending Yuan Ming away, Qin Ye's mind sounded a system notification. Qin Ye took a look at the mission. This mission was okay and there was nothing difficult about it. This mission also gives 2 choices. The first choice is to take the initiative, and the reward is 10 blind boxes. The second choice is to shrink the sect, and the system gives 10 sect-breaking pills. If used well, it can at least cultivate 4 or 5 masters. Came out, however, it is useful. This Pazong Dan is for use by peak innate warriors. Qin Ye currently has no peak innate warriors under his command, although opening the blind box depends on luck. He has always been lucky, and every time he opens the blind box, he can reveal some good things. It's very clear how to choose. System, I choose to take the initiative. Qin Ye called Gue Hai Yi Dao over, gave him some instructions, and Gue Hai Yi Dao took the order and left. At the foot of Qingfeng Mountain, Gue Hai Yi Dao was stopped by Lu Shengpiaxu. As soon as he came down the mountain, Gue Hai Yi Dao stared at Lu Shengpiaxu and asked, why are you blocking my way? What are you doing down the mountain? Lu Shengpiaxu asked. No comment. Gue Hai Yi Dao said coldly. If you want to know, ask the master. Gue Hai Yi Dao added. Humph. If you don't tell me, then let me guess. Lu Shengpiaxu smiled strangely. I saw the young master talking to you, and then you were going down the mountain. The young master must have ordered you to do something. If anything can happen at this time, it will naturally be the Qingyun sect's attack. The young master must have asked him to do something. You deal with them, right? Gue Hai Yi Dao remained silent. Lu Shengpiaxu showed a proud expression. Hehe, let me just say that I am extremely smart. Gue Hai Yi Dao did not entangle with her and just passed her by. I feel suffocated on the mountain, so I might as well go down there and have some fun. Even if the young master finds out, I will help him fight against the enemy. He can't blame me, hee. Lu Shengpiaoxu followed. Destroy the Qin sect. Destroy the Qin sect. Destroy the Qin sect. That the Qingyun sect's coalition forces marched toward Qinfeng city in a mighty manner, shouting slogans to destroy the Qin sect. Along the way, every time he passed a city, the forces in the city were scared to death, since they could remember, they had never seen such a large formation, and some people who were not afraid of death followed it from a distance. This journey is huge and eye-catching. And the news that Qingyun sect went to annihilate Qinfeng sect naturally spread. Qingyun sect actually sent such a powerful lineup. It seems that they are determined to destroy Qinfeng sect this time. This Qingyun sect is really cruel. I don't know why the Qinfeng sect offended them. I'll go. You see, there are not only Qingyun sect here, but also many other sections. No wonder so many sects went to Qingyun sect some time ago. I thought they were attending some grand meeting, but it turned out that Qingyun sect called them to deal with Qinfeng sect together. What a generous move. It is indeed a first-rate force in Qinzhou. I am afraid that even the royal family of Great Qin does not have such appeal. Some of the cultivators were stunned, some were scared and hid, and some were talking about it. Is the Qinfeng sect really that strong? Is it so strong that the Qingyun sect has to launch such a massive attack? A patriarch of a small family raised his doubts. The Qinfeng sect may be strong, but it is definitely not so strong that the Qingyun sect can only deal with it by uniting so many forces. In my opinion, the Qingyun sect has two goals. One is to really eliminate the Qinfeng sect, which threatens its position. The other is to show its own prestige and revive the Qingyun sect's influence on Qinzhou. In recent years, the Great Qin dynasty has been increasing the influence of the royal family in Qinzhou, and the Qingyun sect can't sit still. A 9th-grade sect leader who did not participate in the alliance whispered. The Qingyun sect is still the Qingyun sect after all, and its ruling power in Qinzhou is still so unparalleled. An old warrior sighed. I wonder if the Qinfeng sect heard the news and fled first. A warrior said jokingly, obviously he was not optimistic about the Qinfeng sect. That's not necessarily true. I heard that the Qinfeng sect also has a master. What if the Qingyun sect can't take down the Qinfeng sect? A warrior retorted, however, most people thought that Qinfeng sect was doomed this time. Qingyun sect was difficult enough to deal with, not to mention that Qingyun sect had united with so many forces. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that they were clearly not going to give Qinfeng sect a chance to survive. The Qingyun sect coalition did not encounter any obstruction and stopped in front of the gate of Qinfeng city in just 2.5 days. At the gate of the city, there was only one person to greet them. But the gate of Qinfeng city was wide open, and there was no one inside. At this time, they knew that the people in Qinfeng city had been evacuated in advance. Damn it! The monk can escape, but the temple cannot. Feng Qingyun, who was sitting in a luxurious carriage, said with a grim face, I'll see where you can retreat. If Qinfeng sect still hides in the sect, I will cut off all water sources near Qinfeng mountain and besiege them for a year or two to see how many of you can survive. Chapter 72, Kill with One Strike. You are listening at novelfull.audio. An army composed of tens of thousands of sect disciples lined up under Qinfeng city, but only one person greeted them. They all stared at the young man under the city gate. They didn't know where this man had the confidence to stop the alliance army. The young man who appeared under the city gate was Gue Hai Yida, who was sent by Qin Ye. The system asked Qin Ye to take the initiative, so he sent Gue Hai Yida over. Who are you, Your Excellency? Mu Tong looked at Gue Hai Yida and asked aloud. Go back. Qinfeng sect is not a place where you can run wild. Gue Hai Yida said coldly. Your Excellency seems to be from the Qinfeng sect. Mu Tong's eyes narrowed. Qinfeng sect, Gue Hai Yida. Gue Hai Yida did not beat around the bush, but reported his family name. Hee, are the Qin sect afraid? They only sent you here. Call your sect leader quickly. As long as he is willing to destroy his Dantian, we adults have a lot and can spare his life. An 8th grade sect leader said with a proud smile. Yes, yes, yes. The other sect leaders all agreed and laughed wildly. Gue Hai Yi Dao stood there straight and said nothing, but he was like a sword that was not unsheathed, but once it was unsheathed, it was like a magic sword coming. Mu Tong wanted to use his spiritual sense to explore the realm of Gue Hai Yida, but when his spiritual sense probed the opponent's body, he was cut off by an invisible blade. He was secretly shocked. This person turned out to be a sword cultivator, and he might have mastered it. Knife intention. I think this man is a powerful swordsman. I don't know who will take him down. Mu Tong did not take action. In his opinion, except for the mysterious leader of Qin sect, no one else was worthy of his action. This was a good opportunity to show his face, and the Qingyun sect actually gave in. Immediately, some sects couldn't help but jump out. The leader of the sect looked proudly and said to Mu Tong, Sect Master Mu, I have a disciple Pan Xiao. He also specializes in the art of swordsmanship, and with a small level of swordsmanship, he can kill this person. Who is Pan Xiao? Sword Realm Xiaocheng, why haven't I heard of his reputation? There was a sect leader who had not heard of Pan Xiao's reputation and asked the person next to him in a low voice. Pan Xiao was a disciple accepted by the master of the Silver Knife sect 6 years ago. I heard that Pan Xiao was extremely talented in swordsmanship and he understood the sword realm at a young age. It was said that Pan Xiao went down the mountain to kill the 13 heroes a year ago. Someone familiar with Pan Xiao explained, many people were shocked when they heard that these 13 heroes were not the names of one person, but a team of robbers composed of 13 people. These 13 people are powerful, and each of them is at least at the 4th innate realm or above, and the highest is at the 6th innate realm. These 13 heroes were obviously bandits, but they had to be named heroes. They were engaged in the business of killing people and stealing goods, so they naturally had a bad reputation. However, they suddenly disappeared a year ago. It turned out that they were killed by Pan Xiao. Mu Tong nodded and agreed to Pan Xiao's participation in the battle. Pan Xiao, the master of the Silver Knife sect, gave a soft drink. The disciple is here. A young man emerged from the crowd. He was tall and handsome, with a silver knife on his back. This is the first battle, don't let my Silver Sword sect's reputation fall. The master of the Silver Knife sect said. Yes, master. After saying that, Pan Xiao walked towards Gue Hai with a knife. In the 5th level of Xiantian realm, Pan Xiao is indeed a good seedling. Mu Tong nodded slightly and expressed appreciation. The master of the Silver Knife sect said with a proud expression, Pan Xiao has achieved a small level of swordsmanship, and ordinary 6th level Xiantian warriors may not be his opponents. Those small sects all showed envious expressions, only hating why they didn't have such outstanding disciples in their sections. Pan Xiao came to Gue Hai Yi Dao and said with an arrogant look, see, you also use a knife. It is your honor to die under my knife. If you don't want to die, you can retreat now. You are no match for me. Gue Hai Yi Dao said with an indifferent expression. Humph. Since you are looking for death, then I will help you. Pan Xiao snorted coldly, and with a wave of his hand, the silver knife behind him flew out and fell into his hand. I saw his body flashing, and he appeared in front of Gue Hai Yi Dao in an instant, and struck out with the knife. Gue Hai Yi Dao stood there motionless, which was beyond everyone's expectations. Pan Xiao looked even more proud. He must win the first battle today and make a name for himself as the Silver Knife sect. Yintao sect is also an old 8th grade sect, but it has been somewhat weak in recent years and its strength is not as strong as before. This time Qingyun sect invited everyone. Everyone in Yintao sect thought that this was an opportunity to revitalize the sect, so they came with the sect. Kill without mercy. Gue Hai moved his knife. It was not his figure that moved, but his hand, and a dazzling white light lit up. Poof. Pan Xiao, who was slashing with his sword, was cut into pieces without even letting out a scream. Everyone took a breath. Pan Qiu was a genius who understood the sword realm. He had the strength of the 5th level of innate realm, but he was cut into pieces with a single knife. It was too terrifying. Ah! Kill him! That when the master of the Silver Blade sect saw that his disciple had been killed, he became furious and shouted loudly. Immediately, hundreds of disciples from the Silver Blade sect rushed away. Gui Hai didn't even raise his sword head. He swung out the sword with the same sword, and a dazzling light lit up. All the hundreds of Silver Sword sect disciples who rushed up were killed with one sword. He is so powerful. Silver Blade sect has suffered heavy losses this time. Everyone in the other sects exclaimed, as an old-fashioned 8th grade sect, the Silver Moon Sword, no matter how lonely it is, a lean camel is bigger than a horse. The hundreds of disciples just now were all Xiantian disciples, but they could not withstand the power of Gui Hai Yi Dao's sword. After so many disciples died, the leader of the Silver Moon Sword also woke up and stopped sending people up. Mu Tong took his eyes away from Gui Hai Yi Dao and asked again, "This man is powerful, who else is willing to take him down?" That the eyes of the sect leaders of various sects flickered, unwilling to send their disciples to die, killing the Xiantian 5th level realm with one sword. It can be seen that Gui Hai Yi Dao's strength is at least the Xiantian 7th level realm, so they naturally don't want to send their disciples to die. Humph. The other party is just one person, are you so afraid? Let's see how my Huiyan sect kills this person. The leader of the Huiyan sect, an 8th grade sect, stood up and said to everyone with disdain, Huiyan sect is also an old 8th grade sect, but unlike Yindao sect, Huiyan sect has always been very powerful, and has a good relationship with Qingyun sect, and is taken care of by Qingyun sect. Since Huiyan sect wants to take action, it would be the best. Mu Tong said. Okay. Then I will take action on behalf of Huiyan sect. A middle-aged man walked out of the Huiyan sect camp, wearing a grey robe, which fluttered and embroidered with the Huiyan sect logo. It's Zhang Wei, the 3rd elder of Huiyan sect. As soon as this middle-aged man stood out, someone recognized him. Someone who knew the 3rd elder of Huiyan sect said, "This Zhang Wei is the junior brother of the Huiyan sect leader." It is said that his talent is stronger than that of the Huiyan sect leader. It is said that he is only one step away from entering the 9th level of the innate realm. Many people were shocked immediately. The peak of the 8th level of the innate realm is already the strength of the master of a sect. Even many sect leaders here are not as strong as the 8th level of the innate realm, which shows how strong Zhang Wei is. Zhang Wei stood up, and everyone's eyes were focused on him. He shook his body and disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. So fast. Such a fast speed. What a powerful body movement, worthy of being the elder of Huiyan sect. Everyone was shocked by Zhang Wei's body movement and was amazed. Zhang Wei's figure appeared in front of Gui Hai Yi Dao. He took a step forward, waving his sleeves, and a bunch of red swords appeared in front of him, each of which was condensed by flames. Zhang Wei waved his sleeves, and the small swords condensed by flames flew towards Gui Hai Yi Dao. Chapter 73 Fire Control. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I saw small flaming swords flying towards Gui Hai, and Gui Hai slashed across the air with the sword of sweat and blood in his hands. Bang! One after another, the small flaming sword was instantly chopped into pieces by the sword energy. How is it possible? How can this guy be so powerful that he blocked Zhang Wei's fire control technique? This guy's strength is definitely not that simple. I'm afraid his level is no lower than Zhang Wei's. Well, we should have thought of it a long time ago. Since Feng sect sent him to meet the enemy, his strength must not be too bad. Everyone marveled at Gui Hai Yida's strength. Zhang Wei was also a little surprised when Gui Hai's sword easily defeated him. Junior, your strength is indeed good, but you are still no match for me. Zhang Wei sneered. Zhang Wei clasped his palms together and slowly opened them. A red spear appeared in the center of his palms, hanging out of thin air. This is not a real spear, but a spear condensed by flames. This is a true flame gun. As soon as the flame gun came out, the world seemed to become much darker. The flame gun emits billowing heat waves, making people feel like they are in a furnace. and the surrounding temperature has increased a lot. The Fire Cloud Sect's fire control technique is indeed well deserved. It can actually condense a powerful weapon that is no less than a mid-level Xian level weapon. Mu Tong said appreciatively. Mu Tong looked at the leader of the Fire Cloud Sect and said, I heard that your sect has practiced fire control to an advanced level and can condense flame clones. The flame clones are no less than 50% as powerful as the original master. The leader of the Fire Cloud Sect said with a proud look, yes, my founder of the Fire Cloud Sect once condensed the flame clone, which can easily kill low-level masters. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. If they were in the realm of a master, and if they condensed a flame clone, wouldn't it be equivalent to having one more master? This would definitely give them an advantage when facing the enemy. However, they have no idea of fire control. After all, this fire control is not something ordinary people can practice. Zhang Wei held the flame gun with both hands, and the aura on his body became stronger and stronger. Flames surrounded his body, and his whole body seemed to have turned into a ball of blazing flames. Today will be your death anniversary next year, so take over. Zhang Wei roared and transformed into a giant flaming dragon and shot at Gui Hai. What a terrifying fire control technique. No wonder the Fire Cloud Sect can be ranked among the 8th level sections. Someone sighed. Zhang Wei is indeed powerful, but he may not be the opponent of Gui Hai's sword. Some people do not have any hope for Zhang Wei. It is really that Gui Hai's previous sword kill of Pan Qiu was too impressive. This move is invincible in the Xiantian realm. Zhang Wei is indeed unparalleled in talent. Mu Tong praised. Mu Tong is a strong master. He said that Zhang Wei's move is invincible in the innate realm, so he must be right. Everyone was shocked again. It seemed that the strength of the Fire Cloud Sect needed to be re-evaluated. Gui Hai Yi Dao still had an expressionless face. He inserted the sweat-blooded sword into the ground at the sole of his feet, and a huge force burst out. The ground cracked open instantly, and the violent power blasted directly towards the flame dragon. Humph! My flame dragon swallows the sky and the earth. There is no way you can defeat me. Zhang Wei said arrogantly. Bang! A violent collision sounded, and dust flew up, covering the sky and the earth, making it difficult for everyone to see the scene clearly. When the dust fell to the ground, everyone saw Zhang Wei lying on the ground vomiting blood from his mouth, while Gui Hai Yida was still standing there without moving a step. Everyone was shocked. Gui Hai defeated Zhang Wei without even moving a step. This was too strong. At the same time, they were secretly lucky in their hearts. Fortunately, they did not send any of their disciples to die. How dare you, Shuzi! Seeing that Gui Hai was about to kill Zhang Wei with his sword, the leader of the Fire Cloud Sect could not sit still. He flew down in front of Zhang Wei and shouted, Fire Cloud Fist! That I saw the leader of the Fire Cloud Sect swinging out his fist and rushing toward Gui Hai with a huge force. With this move, the leader of the Fire Cloud Sect revealed his strength. He was at the peak of the 9th level of innateness and was only one step away from breaking through to become a master. Snort! Gui Hai Yi Dao remained silent, and swung out the same sword with so much momentum that he defeated Huiyun Feng with one strike. Gui Hai moved his sword and walked towards Huiyun Sect step by step. Not good. He is the Grandmaster. The leader of the Fire Cloud Sect realized that the other party was a powerful master. His face suddenly changed, and he yelled, Fire shield rises. Countless flames were seen floating in front of him, and then quickly condensed into a huge shield, blocking his face. The heavens and the earth. Gui Hai swung the sword of sweat and blood in his hand and slashed it down. A shocking sword energy slashed hard at the shield made of flames. With a bang, the shield shattered after only a slight blockage, and finally disappeared. The leader of the Fire Cloud Sect looked horrified. He had used all his strength with this move, but he was unable to stop Gui Hai Yi Dao's strike. The face of the leader of the Fire Cloud Sect changed drastically. The sword energy had already attacked him. At this time, it was too late to retreat. He quickly shouted, Master Mu, save me. The relationship between Huiyun Sect and Qingyun Sect is extraordinary. Although Qingyun sect wants to consume the power of other sects this time, Huiyun sect asks for help openly and honestly, and Qingyun sect cannot ignore it. Don't commit murder. As soon as he finished speaking, Mutong leaped into the air and swung his palms down. Endless palm power poured out and collided with Gue Hai's sword energy, bang bang bang, rumble, waves of violent explosions kept coming. This, Gue Hai Yi Dao's strength is so strong, that the crowd watching the battle saw Mutong and Gue Hai Yi Dao fighting, and they were all surprised. Boom boom boom, Gue Hai Yi Dao and Mutong kept colliding fiercely in the sky, and the whole space was shaking. This space kept collapsing, and layers of cracks spread. Hiss. Everyone was stunned. Even the space was collapsed. The master was really so terrifying. Everyone hurriedly moved away from this place to avoid being affected. Boom boom, the attacks of the two became more and more fierce. The whole space was shattered, and cracks appeared in the air. The two collided again. Puff. After the violent collision, Gue Hai Yi Dao spit out a mouthful of blood and flew back. Mutong was not much better. He took several steps back, blood oozing from the corner of his mouth. He looked at Gue Hai Yi Dao in disbelief. I didn't expect that you, a Grandmaster of the second level, could fight me on equal terms. In the previous fight, Mutong had already tested Gue Hai Yi Dao's strength. Grandmaster of the second level, that's right, Gue Hai Yi Dao had broken through to Grandmaster of the second level, but Mutong was a Grandmaster of the fifth level, so he was very surprised that Gue Hai Yi Dao could fight him on equal terms. You are very strong. Gue Hai Yi Dao said word by word. But if I use that knife, I might be able to kill you. After a moment of silence, Gue Hai Yi Dao said again, seeing that Gue Hai Yi Dao didn't seem to be lying. Mutong wanted to see the knife that the other party was talking about, but he was not absolutely sure that he could take it. Chapter 74 The Hidden Grandmaster. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The atmosphere in Qinfeng sect was a bit solemn today, especially the outer sect. After Yuan Ming returned from Qin Ye, he followed Qin Ye's order, summoned all the outer disciples, and asked all the disciples if they wanted to withdraw from the sect. After asking this question, half of the disciples really wanted to quit, and most of them joined after the merger of the three sections. Yuan Ming did not embarrass them and let them leave. As for the fear that they would reveal the secrets of the Qinfeng sect, there was no such worry at all, because they were only outer disciples and did not understand the secrets of the Qinfeng sect. Things that can be known to the outer disciples are naturally not afraid of being leaked by them. With half of the disciples gone, the outer sect suddenly became deserted. But this was extremely beneficial to the development of Qinfeng sect. The remaining ones who have not left will naturally receive key training after this incident. Xiao Yunyang and Zhou Linger didn't leave. The two women looked at the senior brothers packing their luggage, but their moods were different. Zhou Linger held her pink fist and shouted angrily, "These people are really too much. They are all traitors if they leave at this critical moment." Humph. Linger hates these people the most. Everyone has their own ambitions, let them go. I think the sect leader did the right thing. These people just want to get but don't want to pay, so they won't achieve much. Xiao Yunyang agreed with Qin Ye's decision. If these people are forced to stay in the sect, there may be no harm now, but it may endanger the safety of the sect in the future, so it is better to drive these people away now. Sister, do you think the sect master is really that strong? I heard from some brothers and sisters that the sect master may only be in the innate realm, and it is with the help of some magic weapons that he can exert his master's strength. Zhou Linger asked. You. Stop interacting with those people and focus on your cultivation. How can you discuss the sect master? If the elders find out, you will have to be locked up. There is only one disciple in the inner sect now. If the inner sect is expanded, it will definitely be if you choose from our outer sect. If your cultivation is too sloppy, you won't have a chance, Xiao Yunyang said with a smile. Ah. I want to become an inner disciple, and I want to see the sect master every day. When Zhou Linger heard that she could become an inner disciple, she immediately shouted excitedly to practice. Xiao Yunyang is very hurt inside. She always advises you to practice, but you have been lazy. As soon as you heard that you could see the sect master, you worked so hard. Are men really so important? At the top of Househan Mountain, Qin Ye and Old Man Wu were playing chess. That's right, Qin Ye has mastered chess in the past 2 days and is having a great time playing with Old Man Wu. Although Qin Ye wins many times, Old Man Wu is not annoyed, but enjoys it. Sect Master, the chess you invented is really profound and profound. It contains the secrets of arranging troops and forming formations. It is suitable for generals to learn. Old Man Wu said with a smile. Qin Ye smiled and said nothing. Xiangqi culture is the crystallization of the wisdom of the Han people. It is a cultural treasure of the Chinese nation and has a long history. Of course, the reason why it is popular is that it is simple and easy to understand. As long as you study a little carefully, you can easily get started. Sect Master, you sent Gue Hai Yi Dao to intercept the Qingyun sect coalition forces. His strength is not bad, but there are also strong men in the coalition forces. Aren't you afraid that he won't be able to come back? Old Man Wu chuckled lightly and asked. With his strength, if he wants to escape, they really can't stop him. Qin Ye smiled softly, full of confidence in Gue Hai's sword. O Mu Tong, the leader of the Qingyun sect, I know that this person is very strong. His strength should at least reach the 5th level of the Grandmaster. Gue Hai Yida has just broken through to the 2nd level of the Grandmaster. The difference between the two is 3 small realm. Sect Master, you may not know that if you want to kill the 2nd level master at the 5th level master level, it only takes a little effort, Old Man Wu said. Qin Ye smiled contemptuously. If he uses that knife, Mu Tong will die. Old Man Wu asked in surprise, what was that knife? The most powerful sword among the 3 swords of Abi Dao is also the most evil sword. Once this sword is released, it will gather the most evil energy from heaven and earth into the sword. Once the sword light comes out, the enemy will feel as if he is in a mountain of swords. However, he will not use this sword easily. After hearing this, Old Man Wu was surprised and said, there is such an evil sword technique. This is the first time I have heard of it. I sent Gue Hai to attack them with a knife, just to dampen their morale. If they are smart, they can just retreat and be safe. If they are stubborn, then I can't blame them. Qin Ye said with a smile. I hope they can wake up a little bit. Qingzhou can't stand the trouble anymore. Old Man Wu sighed. Maybe it's time for Qingzhou to be destroyed or established. Qin Ye said. Old Man Wu raised his head and glanced at Qin Ye, but said nothing. If someone else said it was impossible to destroy or establish, he would definitely sneer at it, but if it were Qin Ye, he firmly believed that Qin Ye could do it. Under Qingfeng City, Mu Tong and Gue Hai faced each other with a sword. Mu Tong looked at Gue Hai's sword and asked, your sword skills are not like those of my Qin lineage. I'm afraid you are from other places. Gue Hai fell silent with a knife. Mu Tong asked lonely, but he was not angry and said, as a master, why did you die here? Why don't you come to our Qingyun sect, and our Qingyun sect will treat you as a worshipper. Mu Tong didn't reply when he saw Gue Hai stabbing him, and then said, you have been injured in the battle just now. There are so many of us here. If we continue to fight, you will definitely die. Cultivation is not easy, have you thought about it? Gue Hai Yida remained silent. Since he is so stubborn, let me help him get rid of it. Feng Qingyun jumped out of the carriage and flew to Gue Hai Yidao, looking like a hermit. Master, why did you come out? Mu Tong asked. Disciple, withdraw. Feng Qingyun said, the people of Qingfeng sect are all stubborn, and you just saw that the swordsmanship used by this person is definitely not from my great Qin lineage. Such foreign forces must be eradicated. Mu Tong did not disobey Feng Qingyun's words and returned to the camp to heal his wounds. Seeing Feng Qingyun was about to take action, the morale of the alliance army was immediately boosted again. Great! With Senior Feng's help, this kid named Gue Hai Yi Dao is doomed. Senior Feng is the master of Sect Master Mu, and he must be much stronger than Sect Master Mu. How could Gue Hai Yi Dao be a match for Senior Feng? Please ask Senior Feng to uphold justice for our Silver Blade sect and kill this evil man. The leader of the Silver Blade sect bowed to Feng Qingyun. The Silver Blade sect suffered the greatest loss this time, so they naturally hated Gui Hai Yi Dao. Although the Fire Cloud sect also took action, the loss was very small. In the end, Mu Tong took action and saved both of them. They are still recovering in the camp. This old guy is still so insidious. He actually picked peaches at this time. A divine thought came from a very ordinary carriage. Humph. He is still the same. He has not changed for so many years. I don't know how this hypocrite taught Mu Tong to be his apprentice. A divine thought also came from another carriage. So many years have passed, and I don't know if this old thing has improved in strength. Another divine thought came over. I am very interested in the Qin sect. Only one person has appeared so far, but he can fight Mu Tong to a draw. I wonder if the other people from the Qin sect are nearby. This is another divine thought. The strength of the Qin sect is indeed unfathomable. No wonder the Qingyun sect wants to eliminate them before they rise. This is the first divine thought. The strength of the Qin sect is indeed beyond everyone's expectations. This is the second divine thought. We will wait and see. If the Qin sect is really difficult to deal with, then we will help the Qingyun sect to eliminate the Qin sect first. We already have a mountain above our heads, and we can't have another mountain. This is the voice of the fourth divine thought. Chapter 75, No Martial Ethics. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The identities of these people who communicated with their spiritual thoughts were naturally not simple. They were all masters hidden in the 8th grade sections. Under normal circumstances, they would not go out. This time, they appeared because of the change in Qin sect. They appeared this time to observe the strength of Qingyun sect and Qin sect. If Qin sect was too strong, they would help Qingyun sect to destroy Qin sect. They did not want the balance of Qinzhou to be broken for the time being. Feng Qingyun appeared in front of everyone with a calm and indifferent look, like a hermit, and immediately pulled up the full of prestige. He was suspended in the air and said calmly, "Young man, it's not too late to kneel down and beg for mercy now." As soon as he finished speaking, a blade suddenly appeared from the void like lightning and went straight to Feng Qingyun's chest. Huh. Feng Qingyun raised his eyebrows. He hadn't made a move yet, but the other party actually made a move. He really didn't know what was good for him. His strength had already reached the 3rd level of Grandmaster, and he was the top one in the entire Qinzhou. He thought he didn't need to fear anyone anymore. Even though the man in front of him and his apprentice had fought to a draw, in his opinion, it must be that his soft-hearted apprentice didn't use his full strength. "Youngster, you are looking for death." His right fist slammed into the void, and a visible wave of air spread in all directions. Bang! A dull collision sound came, the blade light dissipated, and Feng Qingyun was shaken away, retreating more than 10 feet away. The first collision between the two was obviously that Gui Hai Yi Dao was better, and he actually shook Feng Qingyun back. You know, Feng Qingyun is an old Grandmaster, and his strength is beyond doubt. Looking at Gui Hai Yi Dao, Feng Qingyun's face was ugly, with a bit of anger and fear in his eyes. He never thought that the other party was so young, and after a battle with his beloved apprentice, he could still exert such a powerful force. That's it. Everyone was shocked. They had expected Feng Qingyun to kill Gui Hai with one move, but how could this collision be so bad? Could it be that the strength shown by the master is not as good as that of the apprentice? It seems that we overestimated him. He has not made much progress in all these years. It's not that we overestimated him, but Mu Tong's talent is too terrifying. Maybe he will have the opportunity to take that step in the future. This old guy wanted to show off, but he didn't want to show off and got chopped off. Instead, he lost his face. Let's see how he ends up. It's not that this hypocrite is slow to progress, but the speed of breakthrough in the Grandmaster realm is slow. I am now very curious about what forces are behind the Qin sect and how they can cultivate such a powerful young Grandmaster. The hidden Grandmaster once again communicated with his mind. Feng Qingyun naturally also noticed the abnormal fluctuations in his own camp, but at this time he had no energy to pay attention to it. Only by killing the man in front of him could he avenge his previous shame. Humph. The young man has no martial ethics and actually attacked me. Feng Qingyun rolled his eyes and thought of a reason. Anyway, the other party attacked first, so he should make amends first. So that's how it is. I said that Senior Feng is so powerful, how could he be so lame? That's right, Senior Feng is the master of Sect Master Mu, how could he not even take a single move? Everyone suddenly realized that it was Gue Hai Yi Dao who suddenly attacked, and Senior Feng was not ready, so he was repelled by Yi Dao. Everyone was boiling again, full of enthusiasm, and cheered for Feng Qingyun. When Feng Qingyun heard the praise from everyone, his eyes narrowed slightly, swept away the previous haze, looked at Gue Hai Yi Dao, and showed a cruel sneer. I was just not ready just now, and now I will send you off. As Feng Qingyun said this, he rushed towards Gue Hai Yi Dao, and a series of fierce palm powers blasted towards Gue Hai Yi Dao. This is the Qingyun sect's Xian level intermediate skill 1000 killing palm. Feng Qingyun has practiced it for many years and has mastered it. The palm power is condensed in his palms, like thousands of sharp swords stabbing at Gue Hai Yi Dao. Facing Feng Qingyun's fierce attack, Gue Hai Yi Dao shouted softly. Ba Dao, the sword energy of dozens of meters, like a mad dragon out of the sea, went vertically and horizontally, exploded in an instant, and expanded in all directions. Bang bang bang. The palm shadows in the sky shattered, countless blood splashed, and Feng Qingyun's body flew out like a kite with a broken string. Puff. Feng Qingyun spat out a mouthful of blood, his face was ferocious, and his eyes were full of disbelief. He lost again. In his opinion, he could definitely kill Gue Hai Yi Dao and make his name famous by using 1000 killing palm, but he miscalculated. He lost, and lost completely. He didn't even block a single move. That knife was too fierce. If it wasn't for the last moment, he would have been cut in half by the sword. Gue Hai Yi Dao put away his sword and stood there with a calm face. He was still indifferent and silent, but no one dared to look down on him anymore, and no one even dared to look him in the eye. Everyone was silent. Even the masters who were communicating with their divine thoughts stopped communicating at this time. They were also shocked by Gue Hai Yi Dao's sword. After a long time, a divine thought came out, I can't take this sword. If I encounter this sword, I can only run away in embarrassment. Another divine thought came out. Feng Qingyun's face kept changing. In front of so many people, being defeated by a junior was a huge humiliation. For him who always wanted to save face, it was like he was going to die. He forced himself to suppress the blood and qi in his body, looked at Gue Hai Yi Dao coldly, narrowed his eyes, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. This man must die. If he doesn't kill this man, his reputation will be completely ruined. I only used 50% of my strength because it's not easy for you to practice. I wanted to make you repent. Since you are so stubborn, don't blame me for being cruel. Feng Qingyun said righteously, but his pale face betrayed him. I can't lose. Feng Qingyun gritted his teeth, his eyes flashed with ferocity. He couldn't afford to lose. If he lost, it would mean that Qingyun sect lost. If he lost today, how could Qingyun sect dominate Qingzhou? It seems that this is the only way. Boom. His expression changed continuously, and he gritted his teeth for the last time. An extremely strong aura suddenly burst out from his body. Feng Qingyun's robes fluttered, and the whole person was like a demon god, exuding a monstrous aura of majesty. What's going on? How could this old guy's aura become so terrifying? Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. This old guy's strength can't be so terrifying. He must have borrowed some power. This power is too strong. It seems that the ending is determined. I heard that hundreds of years ago, the founder of Qingyun sect once obtained a forbidden technique. This technique can instantly improve strength, but its price is also very high. I thought it was a legend, but now it seems to be true. These masters hiding in the dark were also shocked by Feng Qingyun's sudden strength, and they frequently communicated with each other. Chapter 76 Feng Qingyun's Death. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master, he actually used this technique. Mutong, who was healing, stood up in shock, his face full of worry. Hundreds of years ago, the founder of Qingyun sect killed a powerful demon and got a secret book. This secret book recorded a technique. The terrible thing about this technique is that after practicing it, you can gain powerful strength in a short period of time. Of course, any unearned gain comes at a price, and the price of using this technique is life, which is equivalent to exchanging your own life for strength. As the number of times it is used increases, the lifespan requirement will become higher and higher. Therefore, this technique was listed as a taboo technique by Qingyun sect, and disciples were strictly prohibited from learning it. However, this technique can also be used to save lives, so the leaders of Qingyun sect have practiced it for generations, and even Mutong himself has practiced it. When Mutong went alone into the barbarian land to assassinate the barbarian commander Manja, he escaped from the siege of many barbarian masters and used this technique once. The lifespan of a Grandmaster is about 250 years old. For them, lifespan is very precious, especially for people like Feng Qingyun, who have more opportunities to break through with one more year of life. Feng Qingyun actually paid such a price to gain strength in order to kill Gui Hai Yi Dao, which made Mutong very worried. In Qinfeng sect, Old Man Wu, who was playing chess with Qin Ye, suddenly stopped, looked at Qinfeng City, and said Then, Old Man Wu said with a serious face, the momentum that just broke out must be that of a Grandmaster of the 7th level. TSK, I don't know which old guy came to Qinzhou. The kid you sent out may be in danger. Qin Ye shrugged and said indifferently, I still have some confidence in Gui Hai Yi Dao. As I said, if he wants to leave, no one can stop him. Old Man Wu glanced at Qin Ye and teased, that little girl followed him, aren't you worried about her? That he was talking about Lu Xing Piao Su. Qin Ye smiled and said nothing. Compared with Gui Hai Yi Dao, perhaps Lu Xing Piao Su is the most terrifying. You deserve to die. Feng Qingyun, who possessed a powerful force, stared at Gui Hai Yi Dao. If it weren't for Gui Hai Yi Dao, he wouldn't have used the forbidden technique. Although this power fascinated him, he lost decades of life. He slowly stretched out his palm, and the spiritual power above his palm rolled and moved, gradually condensing into a long sword. This is a long sword condensed by spiritual power. The sword body is pure white, and the blade is as sharp as a knife. Gui Hai Yi Dao, today I will send you off. Feng Qingyun pointed his finger, and the long sword moved violently, turning into a residual image, shooting towards Gui Hai Yi Dao. The sword energy shot out, breaking through the space and heading straight for Gui Hai Yi Dao. A chill filled the surroundings, making people feel bone-chilling cold. The long sword was as fast as lightning, and it was in front of Gui Hai Yi Dao in the blink of an eye. Gui Hai Yi Dao's pupils shrank, and his figure disappeared instantly. Boom! That the long sword pierced the air and returned. Feng Qingyun's sword was as fast as lightning. If it were an ordinary person, he would definitely not be able to resist it, but Gui Hai dodged it. Feng Qingyun was not annoyed. He waved his arm and swung the long sword up. A sharp sword light slashed towards Gui Hai. Qingyun sect's Shen level upper level technique. Qingyun sword technique. Someone recognized the technique used by Feng Qingyun and exclaimed. This Qingyun sword technique is the sword technique created by Qingyun Taoist, the founder of Qingyun sect. It can take the enemy's head thousands of miles away by turning the true energy into a sword. Someone familiar with the Qingyun sword technique explained to his companion, although the Qingyun sword technique can turn the true energy into a sword and has infinite power, it consumes a lot of true energy. It is difficult for ordinary innate realms to exert its power. When you reach the Grandmaster realm, you can use spiritual power to turn the sword to truly exert the power of the Qingyun sword technique. I didn't expect Senior Feng to be so powerful. The younger generation admired Feng Qingyun, everyone was talking about it, and they were all full of confidence in Feng Qingyun. Gui Hai Yi Dao's figure appeared and disappeared, leaving a residual shadow in the original place, and there was no way to judge his position. When Feng Qingyun's long sword arrived, Gui Hai Dao's figure had already left. Humph, let's see where you can escape. Feng Qingyun snorted coldly, operated the skills, mobilized the spiritual power in his body, and condensed 5 long swords again. 6 long swords were suspended in front of Feng Qingyun, which was already his limit. Shua. Shwad up the 6 long swords cut through the void, with a sharp whistle, shattered the space, and went straight to Gui Hai Dao. The 6 long swords came fiercely, as fast as lightning, blocking the surroundings. If they were hit, Gui Hai Dao would definitely be pierced by a sword. Gui Hai Dao had no way to retreat at this time. Avicii Dao 3 knives. Gui Hai Dao shouted lightly, and a knife shadow condensed in front of him, which exuded a gloomy blood light and a monstrous killing intent. Kill! Gui Hai Dao shouted loudly, and swung his blade. A huge blade shadow chopped towards the 6 long swords. The blade shadow and the long sword collided with each other, and the whole space trembled violently, and a crack visible to the naked eye appeared. Boom boom! A violent explosion sounded. In the range of the explosion, countless gravel flew, and smoke and dust blocked the vision. When the smoke and dust cleared, Gui Hai Dao's figure was still standing there. And in front of him, there was no figure of Feng Qingyun. Look! Soon, sharp-eyed people noticed something strange, and they saw pieces of flesh and blood on the ground. Seeing this scene, everyone gasped. Feng Qingyun used the Qingyun sword art, but was killed by Gui Hai's sword one by one. It was so terrifying, everyone was stunned. They just saw that Feng Qingyun was indeed very powerful, but even so, he still couldn't stop Gui Hai Dao's sword. At this time, they finally understood why Gui Hai Dao was called this name, because he really only used one sword to kill people. Where did this Gui Hai Dao come from? This evil monster is too powerful. We are no match for him at all. Why don't we retreat quickly? Feng Qingyun is dead. Are we going to stay here and die? Humph. We are all masters. How can we be afraid of death? If we retreat today, the sect may never live in peace again. Besides, what are you afraid of? I think Gui Hai Dao has reached the end of his rope and is unable to fight again. If we don't kill him now, when will we kill him? Wait a little longer. Didn't Qingyun sect have 2 supreme elders? What about the other one? Several hidden masters suddenly remembered that there was another supreme elder in Qingyun sect who had not shown up until now, and they didn't know how strong this supreme elder was, so these masters decided to wait a little longer, but the people in their sect didn't have such great patience. Not good. This Gui Hai sword is too terrifying. We are no match for it. Let's retreat quickly. Retreat quickly, or we will die in vain. Go. Run! Everyone was horrified when they saw Feng Qingyun's death. They all retreated in panic. The allied forces of the sects were in chaos, and some even trampled on each other. It can be seen that they were extremely afraid. Chapter 77 Xiao Jiujian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sudden turn of events shocked countless people. Feng Qingyun, who had been cornered one moment, was killed by Gui Hai with a single blow the next moment. What a huge irony! Because of Feng Qingyun's death, the morale of the sect coalition forces was in chaos, and chaos, even if the sect leaders and elders spoke out to stop it, they could not stop the chaos. If this continues, there is no need to fight, he will already be in chaos. Mutong was also distraught at this time, as his master was killed. Although he didn't quite agree with Feng Qingyun's actions, seeing his tragic death with his own eyes still deeply touched him. Snort! At this moment, a cold snort suddenly sounded in everyone's ears. Hearing this cold snort, everyone's body trembled and they suddenly became sober. Everyone's eyes instantly turned to the direction where the cold snort came from, and they saw an old man in black robe standing above everyone. But at this time, the face of the old man in black robe was extremely cold, and his eyes were cold, which filled everyone with fear, and a chill suddenly rose up from their spines. The strong master. Another strong master. Moreover, this old man in black robe shocked tens of thousands of coalition troops with just a cold snort. This strength was definitely not that of an ordinary Grandmaster. The old man in black robe glanced at Feng Qingyun's flesh and blood, snorted coldly and said, "This useless thing has brought disgrace to our Qingyun sect." His eyes turned to Gui Hai Yi Dao again. "The sword you just made was very good. Even I couldn't save him in time. He was not good at learning and died at your hands. That was his incompetence. But, you killed me, a member of the Qingyun sect. So you will die too. Remember, Xiao. The old man in black robe reported his name. The various sect leaders and elders in the coalition looked at each other, but no one knew who Xiao was. Xiao, why does this name sound so familiar to me? The leader of a sect seemed to have heard of this name, but just couldn't remember it. The Grandmaster hidden in the coalition almost screamed in surprise when he heard Xiao name. Xiao Jiujian, why is he still alive? Xiao was a powerful master who dominated the Qin dynasty more than 100 years ago. He is still alive. His strength must have improved a lot over the years. The Qingyun sect has really kept it a secret. It is said that Xiao was a swordsman genius back then, and he was the only one who could master the Qingyun sword art into 9 swords. The Qingyun sword art can only reach 12 swords at its highest, so he got the name Xiao Jiujian. More than 100 years ago, the prince of the Wei dynasty was a hostage in our country, Qin. His favorite concubine and his younger brother killed Xiao favorite disciple. Xiao chased him all the way to the territory of the Wei dynasty and killed his concubine, sister, and brother. Not to mention, he destroyed 2 7th-grade sects, dozens of 8th-grade sects, and killed several strong masters. Finally, he attracted the ancestor of the Wei royal family to take action. He returned seriously injured. I heard that he died of his injuries not long after. I didn't expect that this was Qingyun sect's plan to escape from its shell. Others may not know, but how could they not know that they were still fledgling back then, and Xiao was already a powerful master who was famous all over the world. The incident back then was so big that it directly led to the war between Qin and Wei. Later, Xiao died and the incident was over. Who would have thought that Xiao death back then was just a secret plot against Chen? Now that Xiao has stood up, it means that the incident back then has passed and he has nothing to fear. Greetings to the ancestor. The Qingyun sect came down from above and knelt down to worship Xiao. Xiao glanced at the disciples of the Qingyun sect and then withdrew his gaze. He turned his eyes to Mutong again and said with an iron heart, "Although I don't like Feng Qingyun very much, I have to admire him for accepting a good disciple. It's a pity that you are too kind-hearted. If you pursue martial arts wholeheartedly, you will definitely reach the peak of master status in 50 years. After returning this time, you will step down as the leader and go into seclusion." "Yes, ancestor." Mutong responded with confusion, seeing that Xiao had removed Mutong's position as the sect leader with just one sentence. The others did not dare to speak. On the trail more than 20 kilometers outside Qingfeng Mountain, figures in black appeared one after another, with dozens of corpses at their feet. These figures in black are the killers of the bloody murder. Shui Qianqiu agreed to Feng Qingyun's request, so he personally brought his men to Qingfeng City. However, the people of Qingfeng City had already evacuated, and his men could not be contacted, so they came here. He didn't dare to get too close. He was waiting for news from Feng Qingyun. He waited until he reunited with the Qingyun sect's coalition forces and then worked together to find a way to attack the Qingfeng sect. But what was unexpected was that more than 100 Qingfeng sect disciples walked out of Qingfeng Mountain. How could we let such a good opportunity pass by? So we led people to hunt them down. Except for about 20 people who accidentally escaped, the others were either captured or killed. What made Shui Qianqiu angry was that he didn't get any useful information from them, so he killed all of them. These people are really stupid. It is the safest to stay in Qingfeng sect at this time. I thought I could live if I left Qingfeng sect, but I didn't know that I had chosen a dead end. A blood-killing deacon said with disdain. "Chief, what should we do now? That a group of bloody killers are waiting for the leader's order. Let our people spread out and intercept and kill everyone coming and going from Qingfeng Mountain. What we have to do now is to wait. As soon as the Qingyun sect's coalition forces arrive, we will help the Qingyun sect to wipe out the Qingfeng sect." Shui Qianqiu said coldly. Yes, leader. The killers responded respectfully. Just as everyone was about to leave, Xue Qianqiu stopped. Leader, what's wrong? Asked a blood killer. Xue Qianqiu's heart suddenly skipped a beat, and he had an ominous premonition. He quickly scanned the surroundings with his sharp eyes, but found nothing. At this moment, screams rang out instantly. In the blink of an eye, dozens of blood killers died suddenly, and no one saw the person who shot. Who? Xue Qianqiu's heart was chilled, and he looked around vigilantly. This person could kill people under his nose, and he didn't find the other party's trace. This is enough to show that the person who shot is probably also a master, and it is possible that he is not an ordinary master. Who are you? How dare you be an enemy of me, blood kill? Do you want to die? Xue Qianqiu shouted loudly in a gloomy tone. In response, more than a dozen of the blood killer assassins died. Xue Qianqiu shouted angrily, who are you? How could he, who was in a high position, tolerate being teased by the other party? It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is that you have to pay a price for your actions. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Xue Qianqiu. Xue Qianqiu was suddenly startled and quickly retreated several feet. He looked at the person with a cold face and said, blood killer, and you should have no personal grudges. Why did you kill my people? In order to seize the earth-level skills, the people brought by blood kill this time were all innate realm strongmen, either elders or deacons, and gold medal assassins, but half of them were killed by the other party just now. In the blink of an eye, blood kill's strength was reduced by half, and Xue Qianqiu was naturally furious. The other party's dignified master actually attacked the innate realm warrior, without any martial ethics, and what was even more annoying was that he didn't know why the other party killed his people. They have always been the ones who carried out sneak attacks and killed people, but now they are being sneak attacked and killed by the other side. Is there still martial ethics and reason in this world? Chapter 78, Subduing the Blood Killer. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The figure that suddenly appeared was the famous Governor Xiao. He chuckled. You united with the Qingyun sect to deal with the Qin sect. Why do you think our family is here? Hearing this, Xue Qianqiu's expression changed. You are actually from the Qin sect. Aren't you in Qin City? There are tens of thousands of Qingyun sect coalition troops under Qin City. According to common sense, the masters and strong men of Qin sect should defend the enemy under Qin City. Why are they here? Xue Qianqiu now hates Feng Qingyun to death. If Feng Qingyun hadn't tempted him with earth-level skills, he wouldn't have participated, and he wouldn't have lost so many men. More importantly, he himself might have died. It's here, Qiao Jingchun chuckled, you guys are so self-righteous. You think you can deal with the Qin sect. It's a pity that you don't know who you are dealing with. If it weren't for you being of some use, we would have sent him away long ago. You went underground. Xue Qianqiu's face turned pale when he heard this. He was the dignified leader of Blood Killer and a powerful 5th-level master. He led Blood Killer to the top, but now he was looked down upon by others, which naturally made him unable to accept it. Before Xue Qianqiu said anything, his subordinates couldn't stand it one by one. The master humiliated his ministers and died, and immediately an elder shouted loudly, it's too much to bully someone. Come on, kill him. Qiao Jingchun snorted coldly, kill our family? Why do you do it? The elder gritted his teeth, a big knife appeared in his hand, and shouted, I will fight with you. As soon as he finished speaking, the elder rushed towards Qiao Jingchun, followed by a dozen of his subordinates. Qiao Jingchun sneered, and with just a light palm strike, the elder and the men who rushed up heard a loud bang, and the elders and his men were blasted into blood mist. An ant also dares to fight against the sky. Qiao Jingchun smiled contemptuously. Seeing this, Blood Thousand Qiao's men retreated one after another. Only a few elders who were still alive united behind Blood Thousand Qiao. The 5th level of Grandmaster is indeed good, but you can only perform a few moves in our hands. Qiao Jingchun looked at the Blood Thousand Qiao with disdain and spoke of the realm of Blood Thousand Qiao. Xue Qianqiu's face was gloomy and uncertain. He originally wanted to take action, but Qiao Jingchun told him about his cultivation level. This was enough to show that the opponent's strength was far superior to his, which made him very afraid. Humph! Don't you believe it? Chao Jingchun snorted coldly and exuded his own aura, and suddenly a majestic Grandmaster aura emanated from his body, except for Xue Qianqiu who could barely withstand Chao Jingchun's momentum, but was still pressed to his knees. The others were even pressed to the ground. High-level Grandmaster, Xue Qianqiu gritted his teeth and spoke with difficulty while using his kung fu to resist the aura emanating from Chao Jingchun. Grandmasters are divided into 9 levels, and the first 3 levels are generally called Junior Grandmasters, the middle 3 levels are called Intermediate Grandmasters, and the last 3 levels are called High-level Grandmasters. Blood Thousand Cho is at the 5th level of the Grandmaster realm and belongs to the middle level. Grandmaster, while Chao Jingchun is at the 8th level of the Grandmaster realm and is a high-level Grandmaster. Although Blood Qianqiu was a little arrogant, he was not a fool. From the aura exuded by Chao Jingchun, he could tell that Chao Jingchun was not an ordinary high-level master. The Qin sect actually has such a powerful person as a high-level Grandmaster, which makes Qian regret it. Is this something he can offend? He even hated Feng Qingyun to death. If he could go back this time, he would kill Feng Qingyun even if he offended the Qingyun sect. Do you know why our family didn't kill you? Chao Jingchun said with a smile. After Xue Qianqiu pondered for a moment, he asked tentatively, is it possible that the adults have some use for the villains? Chao Jingchun regained his momentum, pinched an orchid finger with his right hand, tapped it lightly, and said with a smile, our family really did not misjudge the person, you are quite smart. The master wants to establish an intelligence network and leave it to our family, but our family looks good to you. It turned out that Qin Ye recently wanted to establish an intelligence network, otherwise it would not work if he always knew it later. He didn't like this feeling very much, so he gave it to Chao Jingchun. Chao Jingchun then followed Xue Xia and noticed that Xue Xia appeared near Qin sect, so he came here and prepared to conquer him for his own use. Xue Qianqiu stood up and said respectfully, I don't dare. Thank you for your mercy. I, Xue Qianqiu, am willing to do your best for you. Of course, if someone else had persuaded him to join, he would have raised their ashes long ago. However, if you can't beat it, that's another story. Moreover, he also noticed the master in Chao Jingchun's words. Chao Jingchun was already a high-level master, and he had another master, whose strength he could no longer imagine. Maybe he was really just an ant in the eyes of his master. Sir, we have killed so many people, we are only afraid of the sect master. Since he agreed to join the other party, he had to assume his identity, but just now he killed many Qin sect disciples. Chao Jingchun waved his hands indifferently and said, our family has no time to care about these things. They have left the Qin sect and are no longer members of the Qin sect. If you kill them, they will be killed, but you have to pay attention. The master is kind-hearted. If he continues to kill innocent people, I'm afraid our family won't be able to protect you. Chao Jingchun was not a kind-hearted person. Even if he did it himself, let alone killing some people, he would not feel the slightest guilt. However, now that he is loyal to Qin Ye, he does not dare to be presumptuous. Xue Qianqiu said quickly, the sect leader is kind, I know what to do. Xue Qianqiu looked at his surviving subordinates and said, everyone, I have decided to join Qin sect. If anyone is unwilling to join with me, please leave on your own. If you decide to join, you must not betray me, otherwise you will be killed without mercy. When Xue Xia heard this, everyone immediately expressed their willingness to follow the leader to join Qin sect. Leader, we are willing to follow you. We are willing to follow you. We are willing to follow you. Chao Jingchun nodded with satisfaction. It seems that Xue Qianqiu is quite capable in training his subordinates. With Xue Xia, he can easily form an intelligence network covering Qingzhou, and then expand it to the entire Qin dynasty. He knows that the master will never be satisfied with a small Qingzhou. Chao Jingchun took all of Xue Qianqiu's subordinates under his command, and then said to Xue Qianqiu, arrange your subordinates first, and then you will follow me to see the master. Yes, sir. Xue Qianqiu replied. Xue Qianqiu arranged the rest of the people first, and then followed Chao Jingchun to see Qin Ye. Xue Qianqiu followed Chao Jingchun carefully into the Qin sect. Although the Qin Feng sect had improved a lot, it was still not as good as other sects, and it was probably not even as good as the 9th grade sect. However, no one dared to underestimate the Qin Feng sect. Who dared to believe that a low-ranking Qin Feng sect could have such a strong man as a high-level master? If he had known earlier, he would not have been cheated, and he was cheated to death, and almost lost his life. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became, and he wished he could cut Feng Qingyun into pieces. If he knew that Feng Qingyun had been cut into pieces a long time ago, he didn't know what expression his face would have. Chapter 79 Xiao Yun's Power. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qiao Jingchun came to see Qin Ye with 1,000 blood feuds. In addition to Qin Ye, Yagyu Sheng's Weiji and Old Man Wu were all there in the yard. Qin Ye and Old Man Wu were still playing chess, and they were fighting back and forth. Yukiheim Yagyu was watching the chess game and heating hot water. Master, I brought you here. He is the leader who will kill the leader with blood. After saying that, Qiao Jingchun stood aside with a respectful expression. As soon as Xue Qianqiu came in, he looked at Qin Ye and Old Man Wu. He didn't dare to be presumptuous and used his spiritual thoughts to explore their realms. He only dared to look at them with his eyes. However, they didn't look like masters. But when he saw Qiao Jingchun calling his master so respectfully, he instantly understood that it wasn't that he couldn't see it, but that the other party was too strong and hidden too deeply. He did not dare to neglect, and hurriedly stepped forward to salute. Blood Qianqiu has met these two adults. Qin Ye asked the system to explore the realm of Blood Thousand Chou, and found out that it was the 5th level of the Grandmaster realm. This strength was indeed not weak. After all, the power in Qin Ye's hands was not too great now, especially this time. Qingyun sect united with other sects to form a coalition to attack Qin Feng sect. If Iron Sword sect had not surrendered, he might not have known about it until the opponent's army arrived at Qin Feng city. Once you have the information, you have the upper hand. Then he ordered Qiao Jingchun to form his own intelligence network, and asked Yuan Ming to assist him. After all, Yuan Ming had to take care of the affairs of the outer sect. After 1,000 blood feuds, Yuan Ming could get out. At the 5th level of Grandmaster, being a deputy is enough. Qin Ye nodded slightly and said, "You will follow Qiao Jingchun from now on, be his deputy, and set up an intelligence network as soon as possible. Lao Qiao will teach you how to do it." "Yes, sir." Xue Qianqiu responded respectfully, but there was a bitterness in his heart. He used to be the leader in Xue Kill, but now he is a wage earner, obeying other people's orders. "Feng Qingyun, you old bastard, don't let me touch you, otherwise I will cut you into pieces." Xian Qianqiu still wanted to cut Feng Qingyun into pieces. "Okay, you all go down." Qin Ye waved his hand and sent Qiao Jingchun and Xue Qianqiu away. One of them had too much feminine energy, the other had too much evil energy, so they were sent away by Qin Ye. If nothing happened, Qiao Jingchun left with 1,000 blood feuds. After the two left, Yagyu Yuki asked, "Sir, is this person reliable?" "Leave the intelligence matter to Qiao Jingchun. He is good at this. As for the blood feud, if there is betrayal, Qiao Jingchun will solve it." Qin Ye said with a smile. As a qualified boss, Qin Ye still said that just give him the money and he would handle the rest by himself. "I wonder what's going on in Qin Feng city." Yukiji Yagyu said with a worried look on her face. Qin Ye naturally knew that Yagyu Yukiji was not worried about Qin Feng city, but about her sister. He smiled and comforted her. "That little girl is very clever. Most people really can't fight her." "I hope so." Yukiheim Yagyu said. At this moment, the old man Wu who had been silent suddenly frowned. When Qin Ye saw it, he asked, "Old man, what's wrong?" "Your people are in trouble, that old guy from the Qingyun sect is here." Old man Wu said with a raised brow. "Who?" "A peerless genius who lived more than 100 years ago, Xiaoyun of Qingyun sect, everyone calls him Xiao Jiujian." Old man Wu said. "How strong is this person?" Qin Ye asked. More than 100 years ago, he was already a powerful third-level master. Because of the murder of his disciples, he pursued him into the Wei dynasty. He destroyed more than a dozen sects and killed several powerful masters. Later, he fled back to the Qin, and there was no news about him again. Everyone thought he was dead, and never thought that he had faked his death and escaped. If it hadn't been for that incident, he might have been as strong as me. Qin Ye's expression changed slightly after hearing this. Old Man Wu was already a peak master. Doesn't that mean that Xiaoyun is also very strong? Even if he is not a peak master, he is probably a high-level master. Qin Ye still underestimated the Qingyun sect's background, and did not expect that the Qingyun sect would even mobilize such strong men. It seems I'm going to take action. Qin Ye put down the chess piece in his hand and stood up. How can the young master go into danger alone? Let me go. Yukiheim Yagyu said quickly. It's better for me to go. I haven't used my full strength for so many years, and the bones are soft, so I'll loosen the bones. Old Man Wu stood up and said, let me see how much this old guy has improved after so many years. That's fine. Qin Ye nodded. With Old Man Wu going there in person, Gue Hai Yi Dao and the others should be in no danger. Under Qinfeng City, behind Xiaoyun's hands, he looked like an outsider, but Gue Hai Yi Dao's aura was messy and his body's spiritual power was completely gone. In his current state, he might not even be able to defeat Feng Qingyun, let alone a master of Xiaoyun's level. I won't bully you. You can end it yourself. Xiaoyun said. There is only one Gue Hai Yi Dao who dies in battle, and there is no Gue Hai Yi Dao who commits suicide. Gue Hai snorted coldly, his body flashed, and he rushed forward, slashing towards Xiaoyun's chest. Court death. Xiaoyun saw that Gue Hai had no idea whether he was going to die or die with a knife, and he sneered disdainfully, stretched out a finger casually, and flicked out a burst of force. Bang! Xiaoyun's ejection force collided with the blade of Gue Hai's sword and exploded immediately. Puff! Gue Hai spurted out blood with each blow, his face turned pale, and he flew backwards, hitting the city wall before stopping. You don't overestimate your capabilities. Your spiritual power has been almost exhausted a long time ago. Can you still use that sword? After all, you are only at the second level of the Grandmaster, so how can you be my opponent? Xiaoyun looked directly at Gue Hai Yi Dao and said calmly. Xiaoyun walked toward Gue Hai step by step. I have to admit, that sword strike of yours was really amazing. Even I dare not take it hard, but you can no longer use that sword blow. The ancestor is so strong, that everyone in the Qingyun sect was shocked. The Supreme Elder was killed by Gue Hai's sword, but the ancestor just stretched out a finger and defeated Gue Hai with a sword. The gap was too big. They were not the only ones who were shocked, even the masters hidden in the coalition forces were also shocked. As expected of Senior Xiao, he defeated Gue Hai Yi Dao without even using the Qingyun sword art. Xiao Jiujian, the god of death back then, even the ancestor of the Great Wei royal family did not take action to keep him alive. This shows that he is so strong that he is probably invincible in Qinzhou. Even in the entire Great Qin dynasty, there are several people can rival it. Qingyun sect has Senior Xiaoyun in charge. Qinzhou will still be the Qingyun sect's world in the next 100 years. Hey, it seems we shouldn't have such thoughts. After we go back, we will seal the mountain gate and not leave the mountain gate for 100 years. Xiaoyun's move stunned the hidden masters. This disparity in strength is too big. When they were young, Xiaoyun was already a world-famous master. Now Xiaoyun doesn't know what level he has reached. Anyway, it is very terrifying, so they also gave up on the situation that they shouldn't have. Idea, so what if Feng Qingyun died in the Qingyun sect? As long as Xiaoyun stayed in the Qingyun sect for a day, they would not dare to have any thoughts. Chapter 80 Lu Sheng Piao Catkins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiaoyun was indeed very powerful, and he could repel Gue Hai with just one finger, scaring those sects with dissident intentions to go back and seal the mountain gate, and not be born again for 100 years. Xiaoyun strolled toward Gue Hai step by step. Your talent in the art of swordsmanship is indeed unique. Even I may not be able to match your talent. A terrifying person like you, if not for the Qingyun sect, I don't want to provoke you into an enemy, but now that it's like this, I have no choice but to kill you to avoid future troubles. Xiao praised Gue Haiyida's talent, but he did not give up on killing Gue Haiyida. Gue Hai killed the supreme elder of the Qingyun sect with a single blow, causing the Qingyun sect to lose a powerful master. It also caused the Qingyun sect to lose its face in full view of the public. Xiao naturally would not let Gue Hai go. So what if you kill me? If you fight against the Feng sect, the Qingyun sect will eventually be destroyed. Facing death, Gue Haiyidao's face remained so cold. Hearing Gue Haiyida's words, Xiao sneered again and again, with me here, who dares to destroy our Qingyun sect? Just rely on the Feng sect. I will kill you first, but I want to see what the Feng sect can rely on. Gue Hai glared at Xiao coldly and said nothing. Xiao eyes flashed coldly, and he pointed at Gue Hai with a knife, using the same move as before. He believed that this finger could definitely kill Gue Hai with one strike. Kill the god of death with one strike. Suddenly, a woman's scream came from the space, and then a beautiful woman appeared in front of Gue Haiyida, and swung the knife, which actually defeated the power of his finger. Who is it? Xiao shouted in surprise when he saw someone suddenly appeared and defeated his finger strength. The scene just now indeed exceeded his expectations. He did not expect that someone was spying secretly, and he had not discovered it yet. The woman who suddenly appeared was naturally Yagyu Piao, who had been following him. She had been hiding and watching the show in secret, until she saw that Gue Haiyidao couldn't support him, and then she came to rescue him. After all, she and Gue Haiyidao were both members of the young master. If she didn't come to the rescue, she didn't know how the young master would punish her. The beautiful woman did not reply to Xiao question, but instead swung her long sword, turning into a giant blade and slashing at Xiao. Another strong master of swordsmanship, and he is just as strong as this one named Gue Haiyida. Seeing this beautiful woman, Xiao was shocked. He hadn't been born for 100 years. Is the sword master so worthless now? Gue Hai's sword had already shocked him, and now another one appeared, and judging from his talent, it was much more terrifying than Gue Hai's sword. Even Mu Tong was having a hard time with this blow from this beautiful woman, and Feng Qingyun could not have caught this blow without using the forbidden technique. The Feng sect is really crouching tiger, hidden dragon. It seems that their analysis is correct. The Feng sect is just a puppet. There must be a force behind it. Seeing the giant blade attacking him, Xiao eyes suddenly narrowed. He was not afraid of the attack, but was wondering which force these two people came from. Among the forces he was familiar with, there was no such terrifying strength at all. Suddenly he thought of a place. Could these people come from that place? If he really came from that place, maybe it would be possible to produce such a talented disciple. However, he later denied it in his heart. There had been an agreement there long ago, and disciples could not be directly sent into the northern territory to develop their power. Facing the opponent's fierce attack, Xiao also pointed out, and with a loud boom, the giant blade exploded. After the attack failed, Yagyu Piao did not attack again. Xiao looked at Lu Shengpiaoxu and was surprised to find that this woman was not only beautiful, but also about 20 years old, a strong master in her 20s, and a third-level master, which surprised him even more. Not only Xiao was surprised, but others were also shocked. As soon as this young woman appeared, she defeated Xiao killing move and saved Gue Haiyidao. There is no doubt about his strength. He must be a strong master, for such a young master, and seeing that he is still in the innate realm, he suddenly feels like he has been living like a dog these years. Have you seen this girl? She is already a master at such a young age, so she must not be an ordinary person. Although I don't care about the sex affairs, I have heard about the younger generation of powerful masters in the Qin. There are no such geniuses. Even if there are things I don't know, it is impossible to defeat Senior Zhao's killing move so easily. It shouldn't be. Someone who can save people under Senior Xiao is definitely not an ordinary person. No matter how strong this woman is, she will never be a match for Senior Xiao. What I am worried about is how many strong masters there are behind the Feng sect. The water in the Feng sect seems to be a bit deep. Several strong masters were also surprised. At the same time, they were also worried about how many strong masters there were in Strongest Sect. Whether this rush to attack Strongest Sect was a wrong choice, although Xiaoyun was a little surprised, his expression was still so calm and he couldn't tell at all. He looked directly at Yagyu Piaoshu and said very confidently, "I can feel that you are stronger than him, but you still can't save him from me." Lu Shengpiaoxu snorted coldly, but did not object vocally, apparently acquiescing. Xiaoyun continued, "You shouldn't be here. If you want to leave, I can't stop you. But if you want to take him with you, I'm afraid neither of you can leave." "You're right, but I want to give it a try." Lu Shengpiaosu replied indifferently. After that, he swung his long sword and slashed it. A sword energy turned into a 10-meter blade and attacked Xiaoyun. Xiaoyun smiled slightly, punched out, and a golden light shone on his fist, and punched at Lu Shengpiaosu's blade. Although Lu Shengpiaosu's sword was powerful, he still couldn't resist Xiaoyun's punch and was directly broken by Xiaoyun's fist. Xiaoyun's punch did not dissipate, but continued to hit Lu Shengpiaosu, and actually hit Lu Shengpiaosu's chest. Lu Shengpiaosu didn't have time to think about it, and grabbed Gue Hai's sword and dodged to the side. It was very dangerous to avoid this punch. However, even if she avoided the punch in time, Lu Shengpiaosu was still injured. She was hit by Xiaoyun's punch and suffered internal injuries. Cough. Lu Shengpiaosu coughed, and a stream of blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. Seeing that Lu Shengpiaosu was injured, Xiaoyun wanted to attack again and take the opportunity to deal with the two, but was stopped by Lu Shengpiaosu. "Stop!" Xiaoyun heard the call and did not attack again, but asked, "What? Are you ready to admit defeat?" Lu Shengpiaosu wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth, rolled her eyes, and laughed, saying, "This senior, you are indeed very powerful, but I am good at speed and hiding. If you really want to hide, you can't hurt me." Hearing this, Xiaoyun frowned, had an ominous premonition, and asked, "What do you want to say?" "If I rush into your coalition or the Qingyun sect camp, I don't think anyone can stop me." Lu Shengpiaosu said with a giggle. Xiaoyun naturally heard the threat in Lu Shengpiaoshu's words. Her meaning was obvious. "No matter how strong you are, you can't stop me. If you continue to pester me like this, she will charge into the coalition forces and kill them indiscriminately, especially the Qingyun sect camp.